good day. We're here with Tony Kaminskas in Community Corner. You've been at the market a couple times. We've had a couple good conversations, and we basically decided that you're a poet.
Well, so thank you, James.
What now you're ready to share your poetry, which we're looking forward to. But what's brought you to this point to be a traveling poet?
Well, James, as I've been saying, on October 16, 2011, here in Edmonton, Alberta, I fell 10 feet framing a house. Fractured over 20 bone fractures. AC joint in my shoulder, 9 ribs, a few vertebrae, hand. Cracked my skull was the first one. So I'll start off that, yes, I cracked my skull. This is probably what brought me to where I'm in today, because I was in the U of A hospital that I have no memory about what I'm talking about right now. No memory at all. If it wasn't for family members that I had at that time, I wouldn't have any memories of this at all, what I'm talking about. So from October 16, 2011, I would end up with pressure in my head that I remember of, and I'd be going to emergency rooms, ending up with pressure in my head. I'd already had ear surgery, nose surgery, hand surgery. So for almost 6 years, I would go to emergency rooms complaining with pressure in my head. They would do a CT scan, an MRI. I had a spinal tap one night. I let them do that on me. I let them put tubes in my ears to get rid of this pressure in my head that I had. They kept telling me I was lying about it. And they told me it was, what was it? They said it was residuals from my head injury that was causing it. And one doctor actually told me that I was lying to him about pressure in my head, and it was actually, he was telling me that, this is what he said, that I'm telling this guy he has a headache, and he's telling me, he keeps contradicting me and telling me he has pressure. So I spent $15,000 in driving tickets, 2 car accidents, and almost killed by a city bus. I'll shorten it out, all this. There's a whole story about this, but to shorten it out, then, after all those trips to the hospital, all those testing, MRI, CT scans, I had a seizure, almost bit my tongue off, to vomit on the floor, to go for my 20th CT scan to find a tumor. I had to have a 4.5-hour brain surgery to move a tumor that they left in my brain for almost 6 years. Like, I'm talking about pound your thumb pressure, but in a skull every day with your pressure. So I'm fortunate, though, also, what else brought me here is my ex-wife's grandkids. Before I fell down the hole, I managed to become a papa to some of her grandkids. And we traveled, we had endless adventures I would go to museums, stuff like that, and that was where I probably come to the poetry that I have today. So one of my greatest things is that a woman is truthfully a creating wonder of the universe, because nobody can create what a woman can create without surgery. So Mother's Day should be the most important day of the year, because if we didn't have mothers, none of us would have been born to be here today to worry about any days at all. Because a woman spends 9 months of her life creating a life inside her that starts out as 2 seeds, smaller than a mustard seed, can't be seen by a man or a woman's eyes. The woman's body starts to chemically change, becoming an alchemist, creating a life inside her, a universal elixir of love and vibrational crystals, a frequency of loving light and life, to seed the universe with the golden heart of the mother so she can release the fortune to the universe. But what I've been through really in my life has brought me...
Hold on, let's talk about what you just read there.
Okay.
And that, you wrote, it's powerful poetry. Where were you when you wrote that?
Oh, I can't remember where I was exactly. I drive a lot. It's after what I've been through. I'm on a disability now permanently till the day I die. So I travel a lot. My wife and I, we're not together. But I don't want to go into that whole stuff. But I travel a lot. So right now I travel between Calgary and Hinton, helping out people and stuff like that. So I don't know where. I can pull over to the side of the road and start rating. I can pull into a grocery store. I carry a book with me. I can pull into a grocery store and just start rating what I rate. I don't know where. It probably comes to you.
How do you see it?
No, I feel it. I feel it in the vibrations of somebody's voice. I do. I really do. I literally, truthfully feel it in the vibrations, and I can tell by if a person's lying to me or not. I can feel it. Right now, I can feel that. I can feel the energy in this building right now of people. Like, they're happy. It's just, and this is one of the best farmers. This is the only farmers market that I go to. It is the best farmers market. But anyways.
Okay, so from last week to this week, this will become the beginning of what we're doing, right?
Okay.
So to narrow your time frame to 2 weeks ago, I think you were here.
Okay.
and then to now. Describe an experience that you had that triggered a writing moment.
You know, I cry if I go to this. What brings me to this moment? I could be watching news and thinking that the most horrible things are happening into the world to somebody. One of the things is I could go to a dog park, because if you really truthfully want to find out what we are, spend some time in a senior citizen home, a dog park, and hang out in a daycare, and you'll know all of what we're made of. So just when you think you don't have it, your dog will be sitting there smiling at you and waggling to have this. You can't make me believe that there's a nobody on the planet, because everybody is a somebody. So love a few humans, care for all humans, and love everything else. A field full of chrysanthemums can carry on a strong positive energy current to have a happy air frequency. Dogs in a dog park can end up finding wagging, smiling hearts for an endless happy smiles. Kids in the playground can end up finding laughing, smiling hearts for endless dreams of imagination and endless adventures. Wisdom can find it, but I don't know why adults can't find it. But then I guess probably if I really want to go to my true meaning, I always probably come back to God, because if he wasn't here, where would I be? I wouldn't have survived 6 years of driving with no memory if I didn't have God. So I probably bring down to then, if I come back to that, probably conversation is one of the most important things in my life, because in the beginning there was Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I don't know what the Word was, but it started conversations which brought creation. So I don't know where we'd be without the Word of God or the start of conversations to create. And then if I want to go back to even further, it's probably God is involved with me, but if I really want to go back to it, it starts with the greatest gift of a child, right? Because I hear over the years, children are the future, the lifeline of the planet, the past, the present, and the future of the planet. Then I hear people ask the child of what they want to be when they grow up. The person asking that question just needs to look into the mirror of the dreams of imagination and endless adventures of who they've been, could have been, and still can be. So funny, to solve the problems of the planet is in the sigh of the tears and the joy of the child's eyes of showing them the wisdom of who they are. But anyways, James.
That's awesome. Okay, so now you've come to the city, you've come and you've begun this great time of sharing, which now begins. You're sharing your message, your poetry.
Well, I could
What's
probably
coming up this week?
if I probably had to look at it.
Yep.
If I had to probably look at it, this is probably one of my biggest reasons why I'm here in my God. That I feel so much sadness for the world in my tears as I'm grasping for the breath of my fresh air to wake up. I hope my tears are drowning the world in the lost knowledge and wisdom, that in the grace in my allowances for my sins and disobedience, that God forgives me, that I don't want to neglect one of his flower children of the life, so I can show them all they are a light, life, and love in the web of the universe with him, as bioelectrical creating engineers of life in the happy vibrations of the sound of whom. Then I don't know why anybody wants to be a Nikola Tesla robot with his wife Suri and Alexa in his robot army.
Beautiful. So what's coming up this week? Next couple of weeks?
I don't know, James. I just end up.
Dropping in
No,
on you?
I don't. I
You're
go
going back
where.
to Hinton, we know that.
No, right now I'm heading back down to Innisfail, but right at this
Innisfail?
moment,
What do you got going? Who are you helping?
I don't know. I just go where I go. I go where God takes me. It comes from my
Beautiful.
gut. I just end up. It's
So
just
you're off to Innisfail.
yes, because I love people. I truthfully.
Make sure you keep track of what you do. We look forward to when you come home from Innisfail. You come back to the market here, and we do episode number 2.
Well, you know.
In closing, what do you got to say?
In closing, I have to say, probably one of the most pertinent things in life. One of them is that when I look into the eyes of the youth, I see dreams of my lost imagination and knowledge and wisdom of learning. I hope my tears of sadness, I see the light of their sparkling watery eyes, the power of life in knowledge and wisdom of learning to heal the planet.
Beautiful. Tony Kaminskas, poet. See you next time, sir.
Thanks, James.